You know that old cliche, right? The one that says records are meant to be broken? Well, what if I told you that in football, that's just flat out wrong? Seriously, there are certain milestones in the beautiful game that are mathematically, physically, and historically impossible to break. Some stats are just so outrageous, so profoundly tied to their specific era, that they are locked away in the vault forever. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a massive question. Are some football records truly unbreakable? By the time we wrap up this explainer, you are going to see exactly why modern tactics, rule changes, and sheer human physical limits guarantee that the feats we're about to cover will literally never, ever be beaten. All right, let's jump right in. We've got 5 wild case files on the agenda today. The 90-goal year, 13 goals in 1 month, the highest scoring goalkeeper, the 3-minute hat trick, and the absolutely absurd 149-0 match protest. Let's start with case number 1, the Aliens' 91-goal year. Lionel Messi, 2012. 91 goals in one single calendar year. I mean, this honestly sounds like a glitch in a video game. He completely smashed the legendary Gerd Muller's 4-decade-old world record of 85. In a sport where bagging 30 or 40 goals in a year makes you a global superstar, hitting 91 requires a player to be utterly flawless, entirely injury-free, and just relentless from January all the way to December. To put that into perspective, to even match Messi's 91 goals, a modern forward would need to average 1.32 goals in every single game they play, for over 65 games in a single year. In today's game, with heavy squad rotation, hyper-defensive tactical setups, and immense physical demands, players simply don't play enough minutes or get enough chances. Even prime Cristiano Ronaldo or Erling Haaland at his absolute peak couldn't touch this number. Messi didn't just break the record, he put it completely out of reach. Moving on to case number 2, 13 goals in 1 month. Just Fontaine at the 1958 World Cup. Normally, scoring 6 goals is enough to win you the Golden Boot. But Fontaine did the unthinkable and scored 13 in a single tournament. And let's do the math on exactly why this is mathematically impossible to break today. A team reaching the World Cup final in the modern era plays a maximum of 7 matches. So, to break Fontaine's record, a player would need to average nearly 2 goals per game against the absolute best, most organized international defenses on the planet. You see, Fontaine achieved this in an era where attacking football was pretty wild, and defensive structures were, frankly, practically non-existent. But today's game, we've got incredibly deep defensive blocks, elite goalkeeping, and the introduction of VAR, which easily wipes out borderline goals. Because of these modern realities, scoring 14 goals in a month-long tournament is just a physical impossibility now. All right, record number 3, the highest scoring goalkeeper, Rogério Ceni. When you think of top scorers, you naturally think of forwards, right? Well, this Brazilian icon spent 25 years playing for São Paulo as a goalkeeper, and over his career, he scored an unbelievable 131 official goals. A goalkeeper. And we're not talking about lucky wind-assisted punts from his own box here. Out of those 131 goals, 61 were from free kicks and 70 were penalties. Ceni was São Paulo's dedicated primary set-piece ticker, scoring in massive tournaments like the Copa Libertadores and the Club World Cup. This was a calculated, long-term tactical strategy. But this record will never, ever be touched. Why? Because the modern game simply doesn't allow it. Absolutely no elite manager today is going to risk an empty net from 90 yards away. Just imagine sending your goalkeeper all the way up the pitch to take a free kick, leaving a completely unguarded net behind them if the shot gets blocked. The tactical freedom Ceni enjoyed is a pure relic of the past. Record number 4, we're shifting from the long game to pure lightning-fast chaos, the 3-minute hat trick by Sadio Mane in 2015. Scoring 3 goals in a single professional match is already a massive achievement. Doing it in under 3 minutes completely defies reality. But playing for Southampton against Aston Villa, Mane scored his hat trick in exactly 2 minutes and 56 seconds. That is just 176 seconds. Think about how insanely brief that window of time actually is. You can barely heat up a cup of coffee in 176 seconds, yet Mane managed to dismantle an entire Premier League defense 3 separate times. Picture how this sequence actually unfolds. At 0 seconds, boom, the first goal goes in. By 60 seconds, the ball had to be retrieved from the net, carried all the way back to the center circle, and kicked off by the opposition. Around the 120-second mark, Southampton wins it back and scores again. And by the 176 seconds, the final goal is in. This required a perfect storm of relentless pressing, complete defensive collapse by Aston Villa, and flawless finishing. And here is the exact reason why no one will ever replicate this. Modern VAR checks take 2 minutes just to confirm a tight offside. With almost every single goal now rigorously checked for fouls, offsides, and handballs, the sheer administrative delay of modern football means a sub-3-minute hat-trick is a total ghost of football past. The game just doesn't restart that fast anymore. Finally, we reach our climax with record number 5, the 149-0 match protest, AS Idoma versus SO Lemierre in 2002. We're traveling to Madagascar for a match that holds the Guinness World Record for a scoreline that literally looks like a typo on a digital scoreboard, 149-0. How is that even mathematically possible in a 90-minute game? Well, it wasn't a display of incredible attacking dominance. Actually, scratch that. It wasn't an attack at all. It was a deliberate protest. During a playoff tournament, SO Lemierre felt they had been robbed by a referee's previous decision. So, the moment the ref blows the starting whistle, SO Lemierre immediately turns around and intentionally scores an own goal. The opposition just stands there, they kick off, and repeat the cycle 149 times. As you can imagine, the aftermath of this stunt was severe. The coach was banned, players were suspended, and FIFA immediately tightened their match fixing and behavior rules. Today, a referee would step in and abandon a match like that within 5 minutes, because the governing bodies will never let a farce like this continue. That 149-0 scoreline is locked in the vault forever. So from Messi playing like a literal alien to a 149-0 protest, these stats absolutely prove that sometimes truth is stranger than fiction in football. They showcase the incredible and sometimes totally absurd limits of the sport. But I want to leave you with a thought to chew on as we wrap up this explainer. Looking back at all the evidence we just went through, which of these 5 records do you think is the absolute most impossible to break? Thanks for learning with me today, and keep questioning the limits of the beautiful game.